I tried pitchers, I tried the refrigerator filter, and I still ended up buying bottles for coffee and tea. That got old fast, so I went with a proper under-sink reverse osmosis system with an alkaline stage, and this one stood out because it promised strong output, great taste, and solid parts that would last. If you have never used a reverse osmosis system before, this one sits in that sweet spot where you get serious performance and build quality without crossing into the super fancy, super expensive territory. It is built in the United States, it uses long-lasting filters, and it targets people like me who drink a lot of water, brew coffee every morning, make ice, and cook with filtered water. If you are by yourself or you rarely cook, it might be more than you need. If you are a family or you just want really clean water on demand, it makes a lot of sense. Let me talk about the actual experience because that is what matters. Installing it felt like a real do-it-yourself project, but not a scary one. The color-coded tubing helped a lot, and the push fittings clicked into place in a way that felt secure. I did have to drill a hole for the faucet in my stainless sink, which took some patience and a steady hand. Flushing the system the first day is important. I filled and emptied the tank a few times until the water ran clear and lost that brand new filter taste. The first few glasses looked a little milky from tiny air bubbles, which went away on their own. After that, it settled into a quiet routine. During normal use, I barely hear it. It just refills the tank slowly in the background. The water itself is the reason I kept this unit. The taste is clean and smooth, and the alkaline stage brings back a bit of mineral feel, so it does not taste flat like some reverse osmosis water can. Coffee got sweeter and less bitter. Tea is more nuanced. Even simple things like pasta water and rice turned out better because there is no chlorine to fight with the flavors. I keep a big insulated bottle on my desk, and I actually drink more water now because it is just easy and pleasant. Flow from the faucet is strong and steady thanks to the pressurized tank. I can fill a pitcher in what feels like seconds, and it does not bog down until the tank is nearly empty. The faucet itself is metal and feels sturdy, not like those wobbly plastic ones I have dealt with on cheaper systems. Under the sink, everything looks and feels solid. The housings are thick, and the tubing is the good kind you do not worry about when you bump into it while grabbing cleaning supplies. Maintenance has been straightforward. I change the first few filters about once a year based on my water quality, and I swap the mineral cartridge somewhere between half a year and a year, depending on how much water we are running through it. The reverse osmosis membrane lasts a long time. When I open the housings, I use the included wrench, and I always lube the O-rings with a tiny bit of food-grade silicone so they seal well and come off easier next time. I also keep a little tray and a towel under there when I change filters so I do not make a mess. Simple stuff, but it makes a difference. There are a couple realities to consider. It does take up a decent chunk of space. The tank is about the size of a small wastebasket and the filters mount beside it, so you will probably reorganize that cabinet. Also, like all traditional reverse osmosis systems, it sends some water to the drain while it is cleaning the membrane. I would describe it as a few parts of wastewater for every 1 part of drinking water. I have a potted plant right outside my kitchen door, and when I am home and paying attention, I sometimes collect that drain water for the plant or for mopping. It is not a perfect solution, but it makes me feel better about the trade-off. Compared to what I used before, this is a big step up. My older under-sink unit from a big box store had a 4-stage setup in a small tank. It worked, but the flow was weaker, the filters needed changing more often, and the faucet felt flimsy. It also did not remineralize the water, so the taste was very neutral, almost too flat for me. The PEC does a better job with taste and output, and it has been more reliable. I also looked at some of the pricier tankless systems with electric booster pumps and digital displays. Those look slick and they take up less space, but I did not want one more thing plugged in under the sink, and I did not trust the long-term noise or the complexity. For me, the PEC hits the balance. It is mechanical, it is quiet, and it just works. In terms of value, I call this a smart buy if you care about taste and you use a lot of water. I stopped hauling cases of bottled water, which saved me money and cabinet space. The filters last a long time, and I have not had to deal with leaks or mystery squeaks. It is also nice that it is supported by people who actually know their stuff. I did call once with a quick question about flushing and got a clear answer. If your budget is tight and you live alone, you might consider a simpler system, but if you want a dependable setup that feels built to last, this one earns its keep. There are small quirks. There's no electronic reminder to change filters, so I just set calendar alerts and check with a simple total dissolved solids meter every few months. The initial install will test your patience if your cabinet is cramped, and drilling a faucet hole on stone requires the right bit and a steady trickle of water to keep the bit cool. Once you get past that day one effort, the daily experience is set it and forget it. Turn the faucet, enjoy the water, refill the tank happens in the background, so would I buy it again after living with it? Yes. The combination of taste, steady flow, and sturdy parts has delivered exactly what I wanted. It feels like a kitchen upgrade you notice every single day, not something you only remember when it breaks. If you have questions about the PEC Water RO-PH90, drop them in the comments and I will help based on my own experience. If you want more honest, real-life reviews like this, hit subscribe so you do not miss the next video. Thank you for watching.